My name is Kasdan Morrison, and this is my creative pitch for Subletter on Ice. This video will follow this structure. First, I'll cover my creative project, its characters, story, and music.
Bad day to be a Topo Chico.
Second, I'll dive into my inspiration, the Nightman Cometh from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Season 4 finale. Finally, I'll cover my reasons for wanting to create this chaos. Subletter on Ice will be a bottle episode of the sitcom Subletter, an up-and-coming show about 4 of the worst people you've ever met.
No, now you want to give direction? Now you want to give direction? Now!
Subletter is written and directed by myself and other prominent members of the Texas New Wave ex-Mankeheads movement. Meet the characters. Sheldon. Sheldon is chaotic and brash. His favorite film is Pulp Fiction, a classic. When he turned 21, he went and bought Newports at the nearby 7-Eleven. Sheldon seems to have the worst luck out of all of the characters, and he is the writer and star of this musical episode.
Sorry.
Diego. Diego is the newcomer, the subletter, and the least worst character of the main cast. He reads a lot of books, is a real studious guy, and has desires of entering politics. Diego is pretty well-rounded.
I'm gonna text her.
Dude, please. No, don't do it, Doug. Just have some self-respect, okay?
Parker. Parker shoots and develops 8mm film, is obsessed with all things analog, and has strong feelings for Diego.
So are you?
Katrina. Katrina is scary and intimidating. She's quite confrontational and also a newcomer in the group.
Oh, why? Because we aren't vaccinated?
The story. Genre. Sitcom, dark comedy, rock opera. Our hero, Sheldon, leads this bottle episode of Subletter when he writes and stars in a musical with his roommates in an elaborate scheme to impress his friend Katrina. The musical is about a soldier from space returning home to find his lover does not respect him anymore. Sheldon plays the space soldier, the Chaos Space Marine.
Just movie magic. That's a meat cute.
He casts Katrina as his lover, as the whole play is an attempt to pathetically generate sympathy for himself. A hero of war, a gentle hill racer. Sheldon casts Parker as the dark energy, an abstract force that causes Katrina to dislike Sheldon because, of course, she could just not like him on her own accord. It has to be some external force, clearly.
Oh my.
Diego, being more into English rather than stage attention, opts out of performing, instead lending his skills as a percussion player in high school band. Every now and then, Diego plays his drums on stage, as an interlude between acts and during key moments. The musical initially begins off on a horrible note, but eventually gets pretty good, with the audience and Katrina really loving the deep lyrics and songs. But just as Sheldon begins to defeat the dark energy, it falls apart. The doors of the auditorium are kicked in by another band. It's revealed that all of Sheldon's songs are plagiarized from the experimental post-punk band Black Country New Road, and the gang gets sued at the end, with the real artist forcing Sheldon to publicly apologize in front of the audience.
Absolutely deranged.
In Stephen Cohan's book, Hollywood Musicals, he discusses several ways on how to analyze musicals. The first one he presents is the utopian sensibility of musicals. Cohan, referencing Richard Dyer, states, musicals, like other forms of popular entertainment, project a utopian sensibility, which is to say that their utopianism is contained in the feelings a musical embodies. It presents head-on, as it were, what utopia would feel like, rather than how it would be organized. What I wish to achieve in Subletter on Ice is creating a musical that defies this analyzation. A musical that is more dystopian rather than utopian, and just closer to reality. One that just doesn't work as a musical. The characters don't get their way, the music doesn't sound good, they fall flat because of their own selfishness and lack of talent. The inspiration. The Nightman Cometh is the 13th and final episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia's 4th season. An episode where Charlie Kelly, played by Charlie Day, writes and directs a musical.
Some other musical stuff!
Yet, all of the songs end up sounding extremely horrible, and the main cast completely destroy the subject material due to their own vanity.
I did not write that song and have never had sex with a child.
Despite the inappropriateness, offensiveness, and horror of this episode, Charlie Day clarifies that anytime we deal with that kind of subject matter, I like to think it's coming from a more intelligent place. A rape joke is not remotely a funny thing. A man writing a musical that he thinks is about self-empowerment and not realizing that all of his lyrics sound like they're about a child being molested is a funny thing. The joke is coming from confusion and misunderstanding, which are classic tropes of all comedy. Ali Sciarraba, in her article The Nightman Cometh, as It's Always Sunny at its best, replies to this statement by Day, saying, "What It's Always Sunny mostly does so well is to make these kind of jokes land, And The Nightman Cometh is a perfect example of this. You shouldn't laugh at,
Bunny boy, little boy, I want to touch you, boy.
but you do. And you do. This level of comedy is what really makes this musical episode of It's Always Sunny so original and different from other shows at the time, and people couldn't agree more. Some of its top reviews include this one by Ixlana. Peak comedy, and when I said peak comedy, I mean it literally. I have never laughed so hard in my life that my heart started to ache, and I feel like I could die of laughter, not even exaggerating. Minutolo says, classic episode. There's just something about this episode that makes me laugh my ass off. Extremely recommend this twisted take on the rock opera genre. And finally, this review by Spirit XZX. Likely in the top 5 best television episodes of the 2000s. Overall, The Nightman Cometh is a shining example of how It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as an intelligent, funny, and original TV sitcom. And this episode is a great exemplar of a musical that explores more dystopian themes. And also why it's the perfect model and inspiration for Subletter on Ice.